then you document everything you put into it.
Doesn't it look like you are preparing for your spouse's death?
When he bought the two land and one was in his sole name and one was in our joint name, was he preparing for divorce?
Uncle, my husband bought 2 plots of land, one in both our names and the other one in his name only. Now, we want to build a house on the one that bears only his name. Can I support him? Also, Uncle, in one of your tips, you said when a woman supports such projects, we should document them. How can that documentation be done so that my husband doesn't feel some way?
All right, let me answer the cheaper aspect of the questions first. How do you document your contribution? If you think that saying, let's have an agreement, a written agreement on this can cause trouble, then you document everything you put into it. If, let's say, you gave 10,000, the date, and then the amount. Even if she gets to know, say, I'm keeping record of my expenditure. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to keep record of your expenditure. I just want to know, at the end of the day, I like to know how much I have spent in this. Or sometimes it helps to make those payments by check. So he says that, oh, can you get me some 1,000 cedis? Oh, okay, here's a check. The earlier parts of the questions create even more difficulty. Why was one in your joint name and one in his name? How come both are not in your joint names? 2, why does he want to develop the one in his sole name and not the one in your joint names? The argument could be made that, well, maybe the land in his sole name is in a much better location than the one in our joint name. Well, he bought these 2 lands. Why did he buy a better land in his sole name and put the one that is not in a prime a place in our joint names? Then the other question is, he wants to develop the one in his sole name. Has he asked for your help in putting up the building? If not, I would recommend that wait for him to ask. And if he hasn't asked for help, be careful what you put in. If he asks for the help, then make those notes. Because is it that he has other dependents that he is hoping that I could develop this and give to them? But it doesn't matter. You can protect yourself with some of these things that I have recommended.
Uncle, sometimes in protecting yourself, doesn't it look like you are preparing for your spouse's death?
When he bought the 2 land and one was in his sole name and one was in our joint name, was he preparing for divorce? It doesn't matter what case could be made. You owe it to yourself to protect your interests under some of these circumstances.
Uncle, it's beginning to look like even in marriage, you are still an individual, and the 2 shall become one is not really that tight. Because what is this thing with protecting my interests as against protecting our interests?
Well, we live in a very different kind of climate. We live in a world where our society doesn't seem to understand marriage properly. And so a woman is still regarded as a stranger in her husband's home. And the husband is also regarded as a stranger in his wife's family's home. It is not right. It has to change. But until it changes, then we have to be as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. And I think that's the strategy to use even in marriage. Sometimes some of the cases that come up in divorce after there's been a bereavement, they are heartbreaking. They don't need to be if we had exercised just a little bit of common sense. But under the issue of there's love. And then you realize, well, yeah, love will hold there, but so is culture. Well, let me know what you think about this, and let's have a discussion with it. This is Uncle Ebo Whyte, and you can ask me anything. I am going to attempt to answer them because some of those questions will not have simple answers. The aim is to spark a discussion. So if I give an answer that you don't agree with, that is fine. Just let me know you don't agree with it. Don't go and hang me. Don't crucify me. Kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button. Thank you. Unless he is very ill, cannot say no. And even if he's ill, certain illnesses, sex can cure it.
Uncle, I'm married with a son. I bought your book, Let's Talk About Sex. I read it, but my husband wouldn't read it. And he only has sex when he wants. He gets upset when I ask for it. I ask gently, not pushing him around. It makes me feel very single, especially because I can't talk much about it. And I can't do that with anyone else.
You just asked the question of about our 60% of married women. When marriage becomes sexless, unless the woman pushes for it. But let's unpack the question. I'm glad you read the book, Let's Talk About Sex. And if you stumble upon this video and you haven't read the book, I recommend it highly to you, Let's Talk About Sex. He hasn't read it. I'm not surprised. Generally, the average man runs away from anything that would add value to him as a person. They will go to school for certificate to get employment. But things that would make him a better human being, a better person, a lot of men run away from it. And definitely when it comes to sex, the average person thinks, what does he have to teach me? When he reads, of course, he would learn a lot, but he will not even expose himself to it. So he has no idea what he's even missing. So in that, if it is any comfort, realize that your man is very normal in that, unfortunately. Now, he wants sex when he wants it. That's the case with a lot of men. They do not realize that they owe it as a responsibility to discharge their marital duties when it comes to sex to their wives. They do not even acknowledge that their bodies belong to their wives, just as their wives' bodies belong to them. Those are the scriptural principles. Unfortunately, even those who go to church and know the Bible or should know the Bible somehow pick and choose what they want to accept of the Bible and do not accept this. That when a woman asks the husband for sex, that body belongs to her. And the man, unless he is very ill, cannot say no. And even if he's ill, certain illnesses, sex can cure it. So if we can understand that if I say I am a husband, what I mean is that when it comes to my body, it belongs to my wife. That's what it means to say I'm husband. If you say I am a wife, what it means is that your body belongs to your husband when it comes to sex. So I lose the right to, as it were, starve her or to withhold intimacy, sex from her. She also loses the right to do same to me. If we do not understand that, then we're always going to have issues, and it's not going to help. And so in many cases, what happens is that the man is only interested when he wants it. And whenever that happens, he would invariably leave the woman high and dry. Because then as soon as he ejaculates, he's done. He wanted gratification, he's got the gratification, he's done. And then with time, what happens then is whenever he wants it, the woman will say no. Because you see, it is not fun having sex with you anymore. Because you leave me high and dry. You make it difficult for me to sleep because I can't sleep. Meanwhile, you've turned over and you are snoring. But then the complications get in. And so anytime I've heard a man say, my wife is not interested in sex, I laugh and say, no, you are not doing it right. Every woman is interested in sex if you do it right.
Really angry at this man for the way he treats his wife.
Yes.
When you want it, it's game on.
Because in his mind, I married you. The reasoning, the deduction that is my wife, I married. You know, sometimes couples are fighting and say, I will show you whether you married me or I married you. So I agree with you that, yes, he's not doing right. Unfortunately, it is the mindset. And quite often, what is in the mind, what is in the upbringing, what is in the social values and the social norms run what happens. So he feels I'm the man. So I want it. And I want it. It doesn't matter whether you are tired or not. I want it. And if you don't give it to me, I am angry with you. I can even withhold chop money from you and be as nasty to you as I want. It's unfortunate. I wish that premarital counseling in Ghana would be done right so that some of these things can come up. And for men to understand that if you are going to be husband, your body belongs to your wife when it comes to sex. Her body also belongs to you when it comes to sex. So that if one indicates that I want sex, the other should not say no. That helps. So can we your counselors in this? Or whenever he's in a good mood, can we have a little bit of a chat and let him understand this? If it doesn't work, look for some other solution, i.e. bring some people in to talk with him. Unfortunately, quite often it doesn't help much if they do not address the mentality that I married you and I must do it this way. The worst is when even when the woman asks, he does not give. That is always the meaning. It's offensive. That it takes away a woman's sense of self-worth. Because you feel, is there something wrong with me? Why doesn't he want to touch me? And you know the painful thing? For every woman whose husband is starving her of sex, there are many men hitting on her outside. Wherever she turns, there is always somebody. And then you look at the man you married because you desired him, you loved him, and he doesn't seem to even notice that you are beautiful still. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. I hope that you get a counselor to help you. If not, have a chat with him if it is possible. It's a difficult situation, but I hope that one way or the other, you manage to find a way out. Trust me, some of these things are easy because I know the reality we are addressing not easy. Well, let me know what you think about this, and let's have a discussion with it. This is Uncle Ebo Whyte, and you can ask me anything. Kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button. Thank you. Marriage is not given to everybody. Not everybody will marry.
Uncle, I've been married for less than a year, but I want to know, what is the real purpose of marriage? What is the why for marriage?
It is too late for you to ask those questions. You are already in there. These questions, they are the wrong questions for you to ask. But because there may be other people who are interested, let's look at what's the purpose of marriage and why do we marry? There was a time when there was a purpose of marriage. That time has changed. There was a time when we needed to marry. That time has changed. It's not now. And that is why Paul will tell you, he who marries does well. He who does not marry does even better. That is scripture. I know all the arguments about procreation. Now we are doing family planning. What's the point on that? If that is the reason so that we can bring children into this world, then that reason is gone, because now we are saying there are too many people. Let's control the population. Then there's the issue of companionship. I've been married for 42 years. Companionship. I'm afraid that there's a certain con job that we do on young people about marriage. We make it look so necessary, so wonderful. And yet we know, those of us who are married, that it may not deliver those things to them. So what's the purpose of marriage? The times have changed. Let's be realistic about that. Marriage is not given to everybody. Not everybody needs to marry. Not everybody will marry. If it is given to you to marry and you found the person whose love brings you to life, then by all means, please go ahead. The Bible says you haven't done anything wrong if you marry. But if you haven't, don't settle for less. And don't let anybody put pressure on you. And don't romanticize marriage, because it may not deliver half of the things you expect. Remember, in the end, it's about you building the kind of relationship you want with your spouse. There's no magic wand. It's hard work. It's patience. It's humility. It's respect. Remember, I haven't mentioned love, because trust me, love doesn't quite often matter. So, what's the purpose of marriage? Why do we marry? There was a time when everybody needs to marry. Today, we don't need to marry. So let's marry because we want to. Because we've met somebody and the two of us can't wait to build a life together. Let's marry because God has blessed us with somebody in whose life I can play such a meaningful role, and he is also playing a meaningful role in my life. Let me marry because I've found somebody that I can cherish and somebody who can cherish me. It's a choice. It's not a compulsion. It's a choice. It is not a duty. So let no one force you. Let no one tell you you are not complete without marriage. You are complete with or without marriage. Some of the people I know living great lives never married. It's possible for you. If you do not agree with what I've said, throw it all away. But I guarantee you, if you also don't pay attention to what I've just said, 1.5 years into your marriage, or less than a year into your marriage, you'll be asking, what is the purpose for marriage? Kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button. Thank you. So he goes, and then you call him, and then you can hear the party jamming in the background.
I think that in a marriage, the man should be able to have his me time, and I should be able to have my me time.
That's mature. Today, let's have the question.
Okay. Uncle, first of all, thank you for your tips.
You're welcome.
I am a young woman married for 4 years, but I feel my husband is no longer connected to me. He prefers to go out with his friends and stays out extremely late. When he comes home, he is drunk and happy. But when I suggest going out together, it feels like I am forcing him. Whenever I confront him about this, he refuses to talk to me or even eat my food. What should I do?
Don't take me serious. By now, some of you should get used to me when I go into this. Young lady, why do you envy his coming home happy? Life is short too. So when he comes back happy, don't be resentful, because sometimes that's the impression men get, that women tend to be unhappy if their husbands are happy and they were not the source of the happiness. Because why are you happy without me? No, I'll see your face. I'm reading your face. Let me help you. I'm going to make you a witness. There is a party. Then you suddenly find that you have a headache, so you can't go. So you tell Ken that, oh, but you go. Confess. When you tell him that, oh, but you go, do you not secretly wish he would say, oh, no, because you are not going, let's all stay home?
Uncle, no.
No. All right. So he goes, and then you call him, and then you can hear the party jamming in the background, and you call him, and as he picks it, he says, whoa, woo! And then, hi. Oh, yeah. Oh. How do you think a typical woman will feel?
A typical woman will feel really bad.
Bad about which one?
About not being there with him, and yet he's having so much fun.
Yes.
But me, no. Well, I don't think I would feel that way. I think that in a marriage, the man should be able to have his me time, and I should be able to have my me time. Yes, uncle, yes, of course.
All right. No, that's mature. I assure you, family, that we'll get a husband one of these days and then get his feedback and ask him, how come he's the luckiest man alive? Now, one of the biggest challenges to the stability of marriages is the lack of space in the marriage. Women want the bonding, they want the connection. But men often, every now and then, want a space. So they want to withdraw, they want to get into a hole, they want to get into their cave. Unfortunately, when they withdraw to their cave, the woman wants to know what's happening in the cave and wants to be in the cave for them. So I put a question mark against any relationship where the woman says, my husband and I, we do everything together. No. One, the man is suffering in that relationship. He would want his space. Every now and then, he want to go where he can be a boy. Sometimes the women want to tag along because they say, it's all right, I will just be around. I just want to observe and listen. But when you're around, the things we'll talk about, which to us means nothing. You will analyze it. So it is good for the man every now and then to find himself there. But this one, I don't think that is quite the case. It's becoming a man who himself is beginning to destroy his own health because he's with his boys drinking, he's coming home, he thinks happy, but it will take his toll. It will take his toll on his health. It will take its toll on his sexual ability because alcohol can do that in the long term. And it will take its toll in his own responsibility to the family because getting booze is not cheap. It's the same school fees money
that he's using.
That is going there. So I wish the man himself would have better ways of living his life once in a while. But if it becomes too frequent, then it's a problem. What should a woman do under those circumstances? The thing to do is not to confront him, not to nag him. But when he comes home, let it be fun home. Let him, in his sober moments, reflect and say, I like home because my wife has a way of making home interesting. That I have peace at home. Then one day he'll be sitting at this place and watching everything going on and say, you know what, I don't belong here. And that will be his end. He won't go there again. He'll stay home. So let married women watch what kind of environment do I give him when he comes home. You may have all kinds of issues, but when he enters home, it's not the time to confront him with the issues. He just comes stressed. You don't know what day he has had. Allow him to have a bit of breathing space to relax and then ease in the conversation cruelly. And whilst eating, you sit by him and say, so how did today go? You have issues. Yeah. But that is your husband. He hasn't come for a visit. So it's not as if he has only 30 minutes and within that 30 minutes that is your husband. Even if you are not able to address the issues before he goes to sleep. Our mothers and grandmothers, they didn't stop the man from sleeping because they understood men need their sleep. So what they would rather do is that they will wake you up at dawn. And then that's when they engage you. At that time, he is refreshed. The stress levels are gone. He will be more open to reason, especially if the manner in which you open the topic is not confrontational. You and you, and I tell you every day, and you are always doing this. No, next time you wake him up, he'll pretend to be dead. So let's watch the home environment. It's important. Well, let me know what you think about this, and let's have a discussion with it. This is Uncle Ebo Whyte, and you can ask me anything. Stay blessed.